It used to just be something that you would chat about. Everybody I talk to is using AI one way or another, especially in more things that are productive, in different types of applications, getting more productivity. And I think this next leap with ChatGPT 5 is kind of a major jump, because we always say it's getting faster, smarter, better, so on and so forth. That's all true, and it continues to do that with AI. But what we're now seeing, it's kind of scary. It's more human-like. In other words, and maybe I liken it this way. I've been married for about 30 years. I walk into the room, I look at my wife, I turn to her, and she kind of knows what I'm thinking. It's that scary feeling that's going on, because it's tying in emotions and things from the past and using that to build from. So it's really got some intelligence there, tying in human emotion and things into a lot of these queries, which is fascinating.
Yet, OpenAI's CEO, Sam Altman, recently warned of an AI fraud crisis, his words, because of how artificial intelligence could enable bad actors to impersonate other people. Is he right to be afraid? Because he's the one out there building this stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. The opportunity for bad actors to misuse AI is out there. They have to put some safeguards in there. There needs to be some level of regulation in there. The challenge is the pace of AI growth is so fast, it's hard to keep up regulation and checking and testing these things, because there's a new version, there's enhancements, there's improvements, there's more adoption. So it's kind of a cat and mouse game right now.
Okay, you talked about this pace being so fast, and as memory serves, this past weekend, regulations voluntarily in Great Britain or EU kicked in. A lot of countries and a lot of entities already signed on to that. But here in the United States, where they've talked about having some kind of regulation, there's been so much pushback. Are you concerned about that? Because this industry does have a lot of juice.
Yeah, I think there has been some pushback, and I think it's probably in part with Trump and his big push for AI and explosion and to be the leader, doesn't want too much regulation, because that may impede or slow U.S.'s dominant position in AI. So it's a difficult situation. At some point, though, they got to step in and do more regulation, because as mentioned, the bad guys, the cyber criminals, are really going to use this for wrongful purposes, as well as many other opportunities to misuse or misinform people out there using AI.
Well, that's kind of frightening stuff.
Yeah.
Should we be scared of AI's misuse outside of, I guess kind of put it in context for me, how much we should be concerned about it, what its potentials are, and I talked briefly about what other nations are trying to do to regulate AI somewhat. But if Trump is going to be there sort of banging the drum, and he's got a rabid base of followers who are going to be very vocal, how are we going to balance this?
Yeah, you make a great point. It's really hard to go up against that. If he wants to push his agenda, which it seems he's doing, he's probably going to have success. And I think when you look at other companies, the large American-based companies, NVIDIA, Microsoft, Google, Alphabet, the list goes on, even Apple now, they're investing so much money into the AI infrastructure. You got to really turn your head toward them. That's really what this presidency is going to be looking at, because it's so much money, trillions of dollars.
Yeah, also, if you talk about Apple, because it's obviously going to invest a fortune in this and try to hire some of the most brilliant minds, you know, it had a recent good quarter, but you have to go all the way back to 2021 to find something like this, because it's been so far behind in AI. So you talk about trying to pump the brakes a little bit, but they're going to be going full steam. So how do you move forward? Because its rival Microsoft now has a $4 trillion valuation. Tech giants are out there monopolizing AI. What is it going to mean for the consumers and moving forward? It's going to be, I mean, it doesn't appear there's anything to slow this race.
No, I don't think so. And really what you mentioned there about the tech giants, you look at NVIDIA at the top there. I think they're 4.4 trillion evaluation. Microsoft is now second. It's moved up to second, above Apple, which is somewhere in the 3 trillion range. Still amazing numbers that we're talking about, but Apple is clearly behind here. However, Apple tends to be a little bit slow in the race to launch technology. They perfect it. They think about their ecosystem, how they can get most return on it. In this case, I think behind the scenes, Apple may be doing more than we even realize. And we're going to hear some future announcements that will put them up there to really be in the competitive nature of OpenAI, and especially some of the stuff that Microsoft is doing.
Scott, we don't have a lot of time left, but I'm very interested in this last question. Reuters reporting that there are export processing delays approved for NVIDIA's chips meant to be sold to China. How is this trade tech dispute shaping the global AI landscape?
Well, I think it really gives kind of an unfair, it depends how you look at it, advantage to the U.S. because it's keeping the best silicon, the best parts here, the most powerful for the AI modeling, where it's giving China kind of the second or lower, slower speeds, not as advanced. And China, it's going to slow them down a little bit, and it's going to give the U.S. a clear advantage in this AI race, which is really tight right now.
Not to mention, NVIDIA is going to make bank by selling these chips to China as well.
And some. They'll continue to be the leader as far as market capitalization for years to come.
Okay. Scott, good stuff. Thanks for taking time. We always appreciate it.